My husband and I are from a state up north but moved to the south about 8 years ago. We have a 6-year-old, I will call her A. All of our family including siblings are still up north, so A couple of years ago my husband and I got a small apartment that we can use in the summers to visit family as we both can work remote. This spring break, 6 days, we decided to go up for daughter's spring break and my husband's parents both volunteered to watch A while we worked, so it was supposed to be a few days with one set of grandparents and then a few with the other. Unfortunately my in-laws backed out last second for all their days. We were going to leave A home with us but my parents insisted on taking A every day so they could spend time with her and we could work. Now I will be the first to admit that A is not always a perfect well-behaved kid. Most of the time she is actually really good but occasionally gets what I call her witching days where she acts horrible, not extreme to throwing things or hitting but tantrums, basically says no to everything, talks back, and is rude overall. I don't make excuses for her behavior and we discipline her when she acts out, but usually when she gets like that it's full days of this behavior. Unfortunately she had 2 consecutive days like this during her spring break with my parents. We had her apologize, and offered to not bring her the next day but my parents insisted and the next day went about the same. She was fine on the 3rd day but by then my parents had their mind set about her. They kept talking about how they have never witnessed such horrible child behavior and how shocked they were. I didn't try to make up excuses and just let them vent. It's been 6 weeks since and every time we talk on the phone my parents spend at least 5 minutes of the conversation bashing my daughter for being a bad kid. I just let them says their piece. This brings us to yesterday. We were driving in the car talking about random stuff when A brought up that my parents sometimes don't buckle her in at all when they drive because they say it's only short distances. While my daughter has fibbed on small things, like that she didn't really eat the last dessert if asking for a second one, she has never lied about anything serious like this. Also she has always taken being buckled up very seriously since she was a baby. Lastly, we have already had multiple conversations with my parents around this topic, starting to when they were refusing to install a seat appropriately for her age when she was 2 because they didn't want to adjust it back for their older granddaughter. And them not tightening the belts after buckling. And most recently them insisting that she was old enough not to need a booster. It was a full fight each time but I made it know that this is a non-negotiable. So honestly I fully believe my daughter. Of course I called my mom and asked her about it. She immediately got angry, told me my daughter is lying and this never happened. I said fine, I just wanted to ask that she is always back property and in a booster, but Mayam just kept yelling that my daughter is a liar. When I asked her if I should punish A for lying, of course she said no. Then she went into a whole tirade saying how dare I even ask her such things and proceeded to tell what a horrible child A is and what a horrible parent I am. I just kept repeating that I am not even accusing, I am just asking that regardless she must always be properly buckled, but my mom just kept yelling at me that I have no right to even ask her to these things based on something that a manipulator brat told me. And that instead of accusing them I should learn how to discipline my child. Later my dad called and left an yelling message demanding that I apologize to my mom, but not before once again adding a whole read calling my daughter terrible, a manipulative monster and me and bad parent for raising her so badly. I want to cancel the whole trip up north for the summer or at least make it shorter and not tell my parents that we are going. They will show up if they find out. But my husband says it's not fair to A who loves her family, her cousins and all her grandparents, and that even my parents should be allowed to see her and she loves my parents. I feel sad depriving her of family time, but I cannot deal with a whole summer of being attacked by my parents. For clarification, what I was told my daughter was doing was yelling stop telling me what to do. I am not your friend at adults when she was not getting what she wanted, saying things like I am the queen and you have to do what I say and my parents let me do what I want. I fully recognize that none of these things are okay, and with us she gets obviously disciplined when we hear these things out of her mouth. This is also not the way she normally behaves at all, except these days that come on a couple of times a month.